No! Oh my goodness. Alright. I just can't. This. You remember, you guys remember these games? Like. Oh crap. I'm still wearing my sunglasses from the thumbnail. Final Fantasy Dissidia. These games, they're coming out. I mean, it's coming out on the PlayStation 4. We're gonna get a PlayStation 4 version. Do you know how big that is? Okay, you know what? Dissidia. Okay, for people who've never heard of Dissidia, you're like, oh, what the hell is Dissidia? You know, look, just think of any. Just think of it as kind of a love letter to all the Final Fantasy fans who got a PSP and they want a Final Fantasy game to play. Dissidia was right there. It was a freaking amazing game. And the point of Dissidia was you play as any character you want from the main characters from Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasy series from 1 through 12 for Duodecim. For original Dissidia it was 1 through 11. No, we actually did have someone from 12. We had someone from 12. I won't say who it was. But you had these characters you can play as, you know, mostly basically the main protagonist and the main villain. And what would happen is you basically go in these epic battles. They're almost like anime battles. You could pretty much think of just like you're flying all over the place. You ever seen Advent Children? If you guys have never seen Advent Children, go and look at Advent Children and just look at the ending fight scene, because really that's all that matters. If not Advent Children, look at Kingslave for Final Fantasy 15, which is actually a pretty decent movie. Look for the end battle for that. And you're just you clash with, you know, your favorite villain and favorite hero or whatever, and you go in these freaking epic battles. And there were some moments in these battles where, like, some of the map parts were kind of destructible, so you get smashed through rocks and stuff and all that, and you'd grind on these rails and, like, just charge right at it was freaking amazing. They're basically Final Fantasy fan fiction battles, and they were awesome. And we're getting a port to the PlayStation 4. Now, the best part about this is that we're no longer limited to the PlayStation Portable. Granted, I do think if you have a PSP and you're like, well, I've never heard of it, let me try it out. Get Duodecim. That one's the better version because it actually has the first game and Duodecim. So you play Duodecim, you beat the story for that one. Then you can play through the original story for regular Final Fantasy Dissidia. So you get 2 games in one. It's awesome. It's basically a way better version. And you also have you have Lightning from Final Fantasy 13, which is awesome. But it's so cool because now, like I said, we're not limited to the PlayStation Portable. Imagine all the possibilities. The trailer's down below. Go check that out. You'll see what I mean. But the possibilities are going to be endless. But not only that, I'm thinking, just think of ways the character rosters can grow. Spoonie Bar did a video on this, and he makes some really great points. And I agree with all the characters that he said he wants to see in there, like Edgar from Final Fantasy VI. Vincent, I wanted Vincent from Final Fantasy VII to be in there. But just imagine all the characters you could have in this. And this is kind of, I just want to talk about it because maybe some characters might be in there. If you guys are watching this, I mean, go make a video of your own if you're a Final Fantasy VII fan, or no, Final Fantasy fan in general, because this is basically, that's what it is. This is for Final Fantasy fans. And I just think that some of the great characters we could see introduced into Dissidia that I think would make fantastic characters. What about Genesis and Angeal from Final Fantasy Crisis Core? Maybe Zack? Throw in the entire first soldier class in Final Fantasy from Final Fantasy VII into Dissidia, and we can see them all clash with each other. We still got characters from Final Fantasy VIII. Edgar, like Spoonie Bart said, he's fantastic. Edgar, Locke, maybe we can see some Locke. Maybe more characters from Final Fantasy X. 13 characters would be really nice. Maybe Saz. I think Saz and Snow would probably be a good, a good introduction, to introduce them to Dissidia. Maybe Fang. I mean, she's pretty cool. But I'm so excited because really my mind is going with just like, oh, what are they going to add? What are they going to do? This and that. And it's just, I'm just glad we're getting it. It's going to come out in early 2018, and I just can't ask for anything more. I'm going to be happy that we get it, so I'm going to be happy regardless of what we get. As long as it's playing well and everything, I'll be totally fine. But there are probably some improvements they could do, to the game, because, I mean, there really, actually, you know what, there really isn't a lot, because I thought the games were really good for what they were and for the limitations that they had. I mean, maybe, of course, they're going to probably get better voice actors, but one thing that I kind of I had a complaint from the original Dissidia games was that the soundtracks, although they weren't they had some that were remixed, but like they gave us I think with the Battle on the Bridge from I forgot what Final Fantasy was that. They had some tracks from the old Final Fantasy games from the NES and Super Nintendo games where they just didn't do anything with them. They just kind of like, oh yeah, there you go. It was something like that, you know, like they just threw it in there, and it's just like, yeah, it's cool that we have the original soundtracks from the games, but think about it, these are epic battles were taking place. I don't want to be listening. Maybe I do want to listen to some 8-bit music. I mean, pull off some Scott Pilgrim kind of stuff there, but I mean, just I want some good remixed versions of music. Maybe throw in some, like, get all the soundtracks and just compile them, like kind of like what Tekken 7 did, like what I saw Tekken 7 do with their gallery mode and all that stuff and their collectibles. That Dissidia needs to adapt to that. Like, I think that if you get some like maybe very iconic cutscenes and just put them in the gallery, or like I said, soundtracks, let us edit our soundtracks. Like, I like how Tekken 7 did it. They did it so well we can edit our soundtracks to whatever level we're playing, our situation, the menu screen or whatever. Do something like that. Like, if the freaking level transitions to something else, like, let us have the option, like, for like a second phase of battle or something, just let us change the music to something else. Also, I'm calling it, I already called this before, One Wing Angel version. There's going to be another One Wing Angel arrangement. There has to be. There's, every time Sephiroth's introduced into a game where he's in a new game from Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, granted, whatever it is, there's always One Winged Angel, just a new arrangement for it, and they're always better. They're always better, or like they're really cool. Have all the One Winged Angel compilations in there, because the Kingdom Hearts one from Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and Crisis Core, for the One Winged Angel arrangements for those games, they're all very unique, but they all did their own thing, but they were really great. That'd be really cool to see different arrangements, maybe remixes. I mean, another thing, I mean, we did see that we're going to get some Type 0 characters. I saw Ace in there in the trailer. I went and looked at the trailer, got Ace. Maybe we'll see some other people from the Type 0 game. Also, I'm thinking like, Final Fantasy 15 is fairly new, and I don't feel like they'll introduce a character, but if they do, Prompto or Noctis, maybe, well, they're all good characters you can introduce, but I don't feel like they would, because when Final Fantasy Dissidia came out, remember Final Fantasy 13 was also coming out, and 15 just got released, and I'm pretty sure that they've been working on Dissidia for the PlayStation 4 for a while now. I remember seeing a demo of it or something a couple years back for the PlayStation 4, but I mean, I don't think they'll introduce them. If anything, they'll probably put them as DLC. If not that, then a sequel to the game. But I mean, it would just be really cool to kind of see like nods to Final Fantasy 15 maybe. And there's a lot of fan service in the Dissidia games, obviously, and I did enjoy seeing the summons, and for like your profile picture, you could have like different what do you call it, like character icons. When you play online or play with other people, you could edit your profile to where you could have like maybe the old Black Mage, Vivi from Final Fantasy 9. You had like the original artwork, and you had a lot of artwork from the original games put into the gallery mode it was gallery mode or like treasure something. It was treasure something for Dissidia. It's been a while since I played the Dissidia games, but they were really fantastic. But they had artwork in it, and I hope they keep that stuff. I don't want them taking anything away that they had from Final Fantasy, what do you call it? I don't want them taking anything away that they already had established in Final Fantasy Dissidia. The first two games, more specifically Duodecim, because Duodecim kind of did it better. But I like I said, I don't want to see them taking anything away. I want to see them build upon that. As far as like that chessboard thing goes, to me, I didn't really mind it. I mean, I was cool with it, but this is a console version we're talking about, so maybe we could see something a little better, maybe a more tied up storyline, or just something, I don't know. We're gonna see something good, obviously, but I just can't wait. I mean, this is something awesome that we're finally getting into a bigger console, and it's time to shine, because not a lot of people had PSPs, but now the PS4, it's running strong, and you have people who have the PlayStation, and maybe this Dissidia can kind of introduce people to the Dissidia name, you know, that title. And maybe, I know some people who've never heard of Dissidia, and it's a shame, because that was an awesome game. It was really cool, and it also brings to mind like what I'm thinking about, what levels they introduce. If we could see some levels from like Crisis Core, maybe fight in the Shinra company place, Midgar slums. I'm referencing Final Fantasy 7 a lot because you know what, they're probably going to do something like that, so let me reference something else. You saw, I think it was it's that chaos place from Final Fantasy 1 where you fight his name started with the G, but anyways he ended up, spoiler alert, if you've never beat Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 1 for the NES, I'm gonna tell you spoiler right now, so please shield your ears until I put down the peace sign. We fight Chaos. I just gave it away, huh? Well, you don't know who that guy is, but till you fight Chaos, you know, that place where you fight Chaos. But anyways, I want to see that place in there, maybe that big old crystal orb in the middle. But I mean, stuff like that. I want to see things like that, and maybe give a little more fan service to Final Fantasy V. I mean, it was a little overshadowed, being that it was between like 4, which was a really good one, and 6, which was a really great one. Not a lot of people know what 5 is, or they've never seen or been introduced to the characters of 5. We could do something like that, because 5 needs more respect and for what it did. I mean, I played 5. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I remember it was good. I mean, well, I do remember it, but I can't talk about it right now because I'm thinking about Dissidia. I need to put my mind to go back like a few years, whatever. But yeah, just put some fan service to maybe some of the Final Fantasy titles that aren't really well respected, or they weren't. Not a lot of people played them. Like 12 and 5 are probably one of the bigger ones, and maybe original Final Fantasy 3, like the one that was released on the Famicom. But anyways, I hope to see all this stuff. I just can't wait. We're gonna see a lot more stuff. I'll probably do news updates as they introduce more things to Final Fantasy Dissidia, TF, or was it TF or something like that? I forgot what it was. But we're gonna see more things about the Final Fantasy Dissidia name. They'll release more stuff. Hopefully at E3 we get to see something. But anyways, thank you guys. I mean, I'm just so happy. I went and got cake. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. And remember, if you guys like this video, like, comment, subscribe, upvote if you're watching on Vidme. And as always, when you guys are gaming, remember to power up.